Rivalry Tailgate. And welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Bud Elliott. That's Tom Fornelli. And that right there is the national champion and unanimous All-American at Alabama, the third overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft by the New York Jets, where he is still displaying his dominance on the defensive line and all-pro selection. So let's kick off this Iron Bowl pregame party sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter, with the man himself, Mr. Quinnen Williams. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Cover 3 podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that tremendous introduction.
Hey, listen.
That was great right there.
Yeah, look, this is this is a place where we want to celebrate excellence, and you, sir, obviously are displaying that. Let's get started. You have an opportunity to really watch this game. What is game day going to look like for you taking in the Iron Bowl?
Oh, man, just getting an opportunity. I rarely have the opportunity to watch it because we're just getting ready for Sunday and different things like that since I left college. But, man, just kicking back with my family, with my daughter, with my wife, watching the game. My wife graduated from Alabama. She's a huge Alabama fan, probably a diehard Alabama fan, I can call it. My daughter's like 6 months. She already got my daughter in elephant pajamas and stuff like that, and talking about she gonna go get her degree from Alabama and stuff like that. So definitely just gonna sit back, watch the game, and enjoy the football.
So you've had the opportunity to play in two of these games.
Mm-hmm.
What is like playing for Alabama going? Obviously, there's really high expectations every single year with this team where it's, SEC championship, national title game, but the Iron Bowl, where does that stand for you guys on the priority list during the season? Is this something that you guys are kind of preparing for little by little every single week during the season? Or is it with Coach Saban? Is it we wait until it's, the next game on the schedule and then we focus on it?
Knowing Coach Saban, like when I was there, it was always play the next week, man. Put head focus on the competition, the opposition that you have that week. And it was a little more emphasis when we played a few teams like LSU, Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn, all the SEC schools, if you want to name. But being your in-state rival, you can tell like around the building, around the campus, it was a little more oomph on it. Just because they're in-state rival, we call them our little.
Oh, that rivalry means a lot.
Auburn cut the cord.
Uh-oh. We'll work to get Quinnen reconnected there. And obviously, Quinnen being from Birmingham, Alabama, I mean, that's everything about this rivalry is that, growing up, you sort of have to align your sides there. But I remember you followed his recruitment pretty closely. What are some of your memories from that?
Yeah, so Quinnen, Birmingham guy from Winona High School, he was always a player who was pretty well known like as a good player, but maybe not like a national top 100 top 150 type guy. But it's a good lesson, his recruitment for guys out there. Keep getting better throughout your years.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah,
Thank you. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
No problem.
You're all good. We were just talking about, tell us what the experience was like growing up in Birmingham and just sort of like even before you made your commitment and even the recruiting process, going through trying to weigh Auburn and Alabama and all the different things that, they could offer you for your college career. What was that experience like?
Man, growing up in Birmingham, first of all, it's in the middle of both of them. So it's like Auburn on the right and Alabama on the left. So everybody in Birmingham was like split. So half of Birmingham was Auburn, half was Alabama. So just growing up, man, I grew up a huge Auburn fan. And I always wanted to go to Auburn. I always wanted to play for Auburn. And I ended up committing to Auburn and wanted to play for Auburn. But I always wanted to go to the NFL, man. I always wanted to be able to play amongst the greats, play with greats. And when I took that first visit to that first recruit visit to Alabama, it just like stole my heart because it was so many guys in there that had elite talent, elite level that was willing to show you the way to get to the next level. And I felt like it was home for me. I knew guys up there already from the city of Birmingham, from um, there was already like Deron Payne and a few more other guys that was already up there. So when I got up there, man, it was just like these elite guys who potentially going to be first round and who was first round draft picks will be able to mentor me and grow me as a player, and also getting up under Coach Saban, man. Like, who wouldn't want to be coached by Coach Saban, man? He's one of the greatest football minds of all time and one of the greatest coaches of all time. So having the opportunity to be able to be coached by him and also mentored by a great group of guys who now amazing football players in the NFL and be a part of something special was a no-brainer for me. So
Quinnen,
go ahead, bud.
So Auburn came pretty close to winning the national title when you were a sophomore in high school, and then the next 2 years, Bama kind of smacks Auburn around. They get the coaching change. How much did the recent results matter? Because we say these games have stakes, and like sometimes recruitments do turn on the result. Not necessarily a game, but a season. But like if Auburn had kept going well after playing for the Natty when you were a sophomore in high school, like is there an alternate universe in which you had ended up at Auburn?
Probably not. I was just so much in love with the thought of playing for Alabama, playing up under Coach Saban, playing up under a great history-based organization, a great, amazing campus, and different things. And it was like 30 minutes away from where I grew up, so I get the chance to go back to see my grandmother. My grandmother come see me play, and different things like that. So, and then in recruiting, a lot of these games do determine like where recruits want to go, especially the in-state recruits, because everybody want to win their in-state recruit. So having Georgia versus whoever their rival is in-state is going to win the in-state thing. Alabama versus Auburn is going to be whoever wins this. The in-state recruits going to want to be like, I want to go to the winner. So at the end of the day, it does have a sway in the recruiting process. So.
What's that call like when you have to call Auburn and say, "Hey, Coach Malzahn, I'm flipping to Alabama"? How did that go?
It went great for me, honestly, because I knew I was going to I knew I was making the right decision for myself and my future. So it was like I was so excited by first of all getting an offer from Alabama and going to Alabama that honestly I didn't really think about like, how would Gus Malzahn feel? Like it was like, hey coach, like I'm going to Alabama. I'm sorry I couldn't come to Auburn, but I hope you have an amazing career. And he like I remember the conversation like because it was like Ronnie Gardner, Cole Malzahn, and man, they wished me nothing but the best. They gave me all the props in the world. Keep focused. They gave me so much wisdom. And as a young adult or a teenager at the time, you definitely want to hear that from guys you respect and guys you love, like Gus Malzahn and Ronnie Gardner. So.
I do think you gave an interesting insight into your mentality in that what has helped you get to where you are today, because you said, you were thinking you were committed to Auburn, but then you went to Alabama and you saw the level of elite talent on that roster, and that drew you to Alabama. There are a lot of kids who might go on that recruiting visit and say, oh, wow, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to play here. But instead you went there and you said, all right, iron sharpens iron. This is where I want to be. This is where I need to be to get to where I want to go. So is that just kind of the approach you've taken to your entire career in life?
It helped, honestly, like going to Alabama and making that mindset and that thought process. It was like I guess a crystal ball thing. Like it was like, okay, I'm gonna have this mindset. I'm gonna have this thought process going in, and I hope it shaped my career and shaped my life into the right path. And like I made a great choice, man. Like, and I went in with the mindset of like, I'm going to learn from Jonathan Allen. I'm going to learn from Jaron Reed. I'm going to learn from Deron Payne. I'm going to learn from all these numerous of guys inside the defensive line room and develop myself into an elite player. And it ended up working out for me in the best way possible. Like I got a chance to play against something with some great group of guys and guys who taught me stuff, still teach me stuff to this day. In the NFL. So it was just a great decision that I made. And a lot of guys do look at it like, oh man, I might not play, I might not do this. But if you're a dog, you're a dog at the end of the day. So it might not be right away, it might not be 2 years like it took me. Like, but if you're a dog, once you get that opportunity, man, it's gonna flourish. It's gonna show brighter than ever. So
One thing that I've noticed from Coach Saban this year talking about this team, he has expressed, or at least he's told us, that he likes the way they practice. And that seems to be something that, like, that might get him more fired up than anything else. What were those Alabama practices like with all that talent on the field, with Coach Nick Saban running the show? What was that experience of that Alabama football practice?
Man, they used to be unbelievable. Like, we used to always laugh at the end of games and stuff, especially, I believe, like it was 2017? We had the number one offense in the country. It was putting up like 60 points a game and all that stuff. Like
18,
that.
y'all blitzed everybody. Like that 18 offense was bananas.
18, probably 18. That was the next championship year we lost, I think, or we won.
That was the 18 was the year that ends in San Fran against Clemson.
Clemson, we lost, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that year it was unbelievable. We got the number one offense in the country versus the number one defense in the country. Every single day at practice was unbelievable. You got Jaylen Waddle and going against Devontae Smith, Heisman winner, going against Jerry Jeudy and all these guys on the offensive line, and running back Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs. So just think about all this NFL talent in one practice going against each other, battling it out. So, man, you guys can just have an imagination on how that was, man. And we were battling every single day. And it was so funny because at the end of games, we'll sit back in the fourth and third quarter and was like, man, like, practice was harder than this. Just because you're going against so much elite talent and so much elite eyes, going against a quarterback who can make the read, going against Jaylen Hurts every single day, and he can run the ball and throw the ball and is extremely strong and extremely talented. So you really get the best of both worlds at practice when you're going against Jaylen Hurts and Tua. So it was crazy. It'd be like Friday Night Lights every day at practice.
Quinnen, who was the guy in practice that, offensive line wise, that just wouldn't give you a break? Like if you didn't bring it every day, you knew he was going to whip you.
But every single last one of them was like that. I remember Cam Robinson was a guy who was bro. He used to come to work every single day, ready to be like he was a first round draft pick. Like every single day, you had Ross Pierce back there, the center. He's oh my goodness, come to work every single day, like ready to work. And it was just that mindset. I never, I guess, played with a guy all my 3 years there who didn't have a work mindset. It was just every single body on that team, every single body in that building came to work with a national championship mindset, with an all-pro mindset or Pro Bowl mindset or All-American mindset. So I never came across a guy I've played with like a lackadaisical mindset or a negative mindset.
Quinnen, we got to hit a break in just a second. Do you have about like 10 or so more minutes on the other side of the commercial to hang out?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All right. Coming up on the other side, more with Quinnen Williams here on the Iron Bowl pregame party sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Next.
A rivalry over a century old is renewed. Alabama brings its college football playoff hopes into a clash with the Tigers. The Iron Bowl, today on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, Iron Bowl pregame party sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. We are joined by Alabama great and all-pro defensive lineman Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets. He's got himself a nice Saturday, because this is the off week, right?
Yeah, we had played yesterday. So we played.
Oh,
Friday.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Okay, nice. This is a great weekend for Quinnen Williams. Here we go. So have you kept in touch with any of the coaches or any of the players on the roster that are playing right now? What's your sense of where Alabama is at this point in the season?
I was down there training there last offseason. I got a chance to see I think the name is Dallas Turner, number 15.
Yep.
I got a chance to train with him and work out with him, and he taught him some different stuff like that. And to see him flourish as a pass rusher and an unbelievable edge rusher has been unbelievable to me. The last 2 years I've been a fan of his since, and tried to stay in touch with him and just let him know, open the door to, man, if you need anything mentally that I can give you, bro, like I'm willing to give you all the knowledge and all the things that I got for you. So I keep in touch with him. I've been knowing my little cousin played with Kool-Aid McKinstry, man. I've been knowing him since he was a baby, man. So got a chance to talk to him probably every single day, every single week, just because we family, and that's about it. So I just sit back and watch, man. I'm a huge fan of every single body on the team. I'm a huge fan of I think it's the right tackle. I seen an interview, and his mindset beginning of the season was like, we want to get back. Alabama want to get back to that old Alabama style, being physical in the line of scrimmage in the trenches. Like, I thought that was unbelievable. I think he's doing an unbelievable job. Also, I don't know his name, but I think he's doing an unbelievable job.
Is that
also.
J.C. Latham?
JC, like, yeah, that's him.
Latham's
Yeah.
a pro. That guy will
Yeah,
be up in the league soon.
Yeah, he's doing an unbelievable job, and just see his mindset on every time he talking to media, man. His mindset is unbelievable, and you could tell that he's a great leader in that locker room, and especially on the opposite line. So,
Speaking of leaders in the locker room, you played. You mentioned all the great guys you've played with. Like, you played with Jaylen Hurts at quarterback. You had Tua at quarterback. Here's just a question for you, Mac Jones, of course. But more than the leadership, I mean, I've seen Jaylen Hurts on the squat rack. I want to know who can squat more, you or Jaylen Hurts?
Oh, Jaylen for sure. I done seen Jaylen for sure. It's so funny because when I first got there, I never lifted weights like that in high school. Like, high school, I'm a kid. It didn't, like, where I'm from, it ain't really hit like it is now. Like, all the Nike combines and the trainers and the elite pass rush trainers and stuff like that. So I was just like this normal talented kid. Like, I was just probably came in 260, benching 185, and squatting probably 225 pounds. And Jaylen came in, I'm talking about power lifter, quarterback, ripped up, huge. And my first day, it was like bigs and skills. They used to call it bigs and skills. Bigs live for bigs, skills live for skills. And Jaylen was over there. I'm like, oh, man, Jaylen must be a linebacker since he's living with the bigs. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know at the time. This was our freshman year. We came in together. This is our freshman year, so he living with the bigs. And our first day of spring ball, we go out there, and I'm like, and I see him, he's number 2, and I'm like, oh, man, linebackers can get single digits? And I'm like, oh. So we go down, I see him throwing the ball before the practice. So I'm like, oh, like, he must be playing around before practice throwing the ball, like just playing catch. And we got into like a live period, like a real 11-on-11 period. And I seen he was a quarterback, and I was like, bro, there's no way this kid a quarterback. Like, he's unbelievable strong. His strength is on a whole nother level. You can see it now. Like, he's the only guy in the NFL can complete the quarterback sneak at that high rate like that, just because no quarterback in the NFL got legs like his and strength, this lower body strength like his. So he's extremely strong.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. Like, so do you think we should ban the brotherly shove, the quarterback sneak play, or is it just like let Jaylen have it?
I think we should let everybody have it. Like, at the end of the day, it's like I compare it to like what is called the air raid era.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen it like when people started throwing the ball, everybody was like, "That's cheating!" Like, there's no way you can throw the ball like that and keep throwing the ball. So it's like it's gonna evolve. Like, everything's gotta evolve. Even when I compare, like, also when like Lamar Jackson first got into the league and the scrambling quarterback, and everybody couldn't contain it, and then nobody know how to contain a scrambling quarterback like that. And now every single quarterback in the NFL can run. So it's like, I think everything is just evolving, man. I think that play is going to evolve eventually. Everybody tried to do the Philly special for a long time. Nobody could know how to stop the Philly special. So it's just like, I don't understand why people make it so big deal, like, to ban it and all this stuff like that. But I think it just can evolve.
It's like when you're playing Madden with your friend and they keep running the same play over and over again and you can't stop it. I feel like that's what NFL coaches are dealing with right now, because they can't figure out a way to stop Jaylen Hurts from pushing 300 dudes out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but like I said, like, it's gonna evolve. Like, one day they're gonna find out it's a great scheme. A defensive coordinator or a head coach is just gonna find a great scheme and a great technique to do this and do that, and it's gonna be a technique that evolves. Some coach gonna copyright it too. It's gonna be like, this technique was copyrighted by such and such. Like, Bill Walsh got the attack front in the 4-3 and stuff like that. So
we need the pendulum to swing the other way to just bring back the massive nose guard, right? Like the one that, like,
this the only exactly. Like, even like defensive lineman has evolved. Like, if you look at everybody, like all the great Hall of Famers like Vince Wilfork and all these big D tackles, these run stopping D tackles. Then you got guys like 280 like Aaron Donald and guys getting 22 sacks and all this stuff, double-digit sacks from the interior D line. And you just look at it like everything's evolving at a super high rate. You got guys like Tyreek Hill, super speed, little. It's like, oh, man. Like back then it was like Megatron and all these big receivers catching the ball and stuff. So everything's evolving.
We call them those like big Cadillac receiver bodies, and now they just got little dirt bikes, like just speed through small spaces.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. You got any predictions for the game?
Predictions? I hope I'm pulling for Alabama. I hope they win because after Auburn lost last week, I'm like, okay, but this would be like an easy little 14-point win. So,
and especially you can't take that going into Atlanta, right? You got Georgia on deck in the SEC championship next week. I mean, this is I got to think that there's a little bit of the tone setting that you want to have, like going into this game, making sure that everybody's as locked in as you need to be. No slipping up on the execution because hostile territory, Jordan-Hare Stadium. It would be easy against an opponent like that to let it slip. So I'll be curious to see where their headspace is at, that mentality.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have a great mentality just because I think they got a lot of opportunity in front of them, man. Just they beat Auburn, go and beat Georgia. They might have an opportunity to get in the playoffs, man. So I think they got a huge chip on their shoulders to show the world that they are a playoff team. So hopefully they're going into this thing not looking at the opponent, but looking at themselves and doing the Alabama way and the Alabama standard. So.
Quinnen, we've had Alabama guys on here before, and most of them have a really good Nick Saban story. Like, do you have a really funny or really good Nick Saban story you want to share?
Let me think. I got a funny story about Coach Saban, but it's not really funny. It's just like something different, like that I've seen over time. Like, we always do this thing where like the rookies go to his house and like do the boat thing, and like you guys ever seen that before, training to do the boats and the jet skis and all that stuff. So one day, like Coach Saban, we like the leadership got to go no matter what. So if you're a rookie, when you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, if you're a leader, on leadership, you got to go no matter what. So you got to think like we didn't, as a captain on leadership, I didn't been a part of this 3 years now. So I'm going in the mindset like, I don't really want to be here, but I got to be here. So I'm like, I done seen this before. Coach Saban's going to do this. He's going to make all the freshmen get on the little boat and get tired out because the next day is training camp, right? So we go, and Coach Saban does something totally different than every single year that's like blew my mind. He was in this little golf cart spinning around. And I think it's a video of it on Twitter or somewhere, like YouTube. We was in a little golf cart just spinning around. It was like the little golf cart that like you pull a lever and it make you do like a 360 donut spin.
Oh, nice.
So he kept doing that. So I'm like, there's no way Coach Saban is playing right now. He's usually like serious and just like straight ahead focused. But it's like on those days where he like get a chance to let his hair down and dry the boats and stuff like that. Oh, he's an unbelievable character in.
Because he wants to toss players off, right?
Yeah, that's his like thing. That's his thing. Like he want to toss players off the raft, so he's gonna go to the extreme to throw you off the raft. So I'm like, Coach, like that's like low key dangerous a little bit. Like
I've been thrown off a tube, and there've been a couple times when I hit the water, and I'm like, oh no.
I guess it's like a tale to see how tough you is. like, are you going to just get thrown off the raft and get back on the boat and just chill and be quiet, or are you going to get back on the raft and attack it again? So
I like it. Life lessons learned on the lake with Coach Saban. So it sounds to me like he's got a golf cart that's tricked out. Then if he can pull something,
I gotta find it. Like I gotta find the video. It's so funny to me because it's like there's no way he keeps spinning himself in a circle like that.
Oh man,
he's hilarious.
May start doing those Mercedes. He owns all his dealerships now. Just getting that 750.
Yeah, he need to give me like one a Maybach or something.
And we're not talking about a car. The dealership, Coach Saban. Quinnen wants a dealership. He wants a full. He only wants the roof.
I'll take the car too. Yeah.
Any fun Iron Bowl rivalry talk this week, or any friendly bets on the line for the game?
I don't really bet for real, but because at the end of the day we Alabama, so I'm super cocky in that way. When it comes down to Alabama, I think we the best in the world. I tell everybody there's no better college than Alabama. So, but it's definitely been little jokes, man. I have a lot of friends that play for Alabama. Derek Brown, one of my good friends, that play for. I always joke with him. Tadarius Moultrie, play with Auburn. Not Alabama, but play with Auburn. Jamie and Sherwood play for Auburn. CJ Uzuma on my team play for Auburn. So Carl Lawson played at Auburn. So I always joke with them and stuff like that when it came down to Auburn being the worst team in Alabama.
So they're not real confident this week.
No, they better not be.
What do you think the keys are for this Alabama team?
I think the biggest key is I just watching them in general is playing defense. I think their defense been like some games they be ecstatic and unbelievable, but some games you can tell like they kind of inconsistent a little bit, and that's like all things. I think definitely like when they get that quarterback run game in, man, it's been unbelievable. Like he is an athlete for sure. Like to see him turn it on and to see him make the big time throws in the big time pocket and stuff like that has been unbelievable. And that offensive line, man, like I think every week that I can catch the game and watch the game, every time that offensive line is balling, man, they have super success. So I think the defense playing consistent, man, and that offensive line balling out like they always do, and that quarterback taking off when he can and keeping him in that run game, man, has been unbelievable also this year. So
yeah, the Jalen Milroe, the threat of the deep ball, like he's got such a good arm when he throws.
He got an unbelievable throw.
And then also being able to run. I mean, it's been interesting to watch because they got the new offensive coordinator now, Tommy Rees, and so it kind of from our eyes, it's felt like there's been a little bit of a feeling out process, right? And, trying to figure out what works the best. And they're definitely playing some of their best football, especially on the offensive side here at the end of the season. They just need a couple more wins and things to break their way if they want to make, as you mentioned earlier, a run into the playoff.
Yep.
Tom, Bud, any other thoughts before we scoot on out of here?
I think I know the answer to this one, but speaking of the playoff, let's say we've got a scenario where it's between Alabama and Texas for that final playoff spot. Who do you think deserves it?
Texas do play unbelievable football, man. And I like that D tackle that played for Texas, man.
Sweat.
I watch him a lot, man. He's a big dude, be rolling. I don't know, man. That's a hard decision. At the end of the day, I'm gonna roll with Alabama. So Alabama got to take it in. But Texas is playing some unbelievable football. And that D tackle that played with Texas, he got a fan in Quinnen Williams, man, because he's an unbelievable player. So
Quinnen, you said you came to Alabama at 260. Have you seen photos of Sweat in high school?
No, I haven't. But
he was 249.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Talking about the dude that's like 3.
Yes. Yeah, he's put on like 100.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's no way he got that Texas barbecue though, man. He probably got that barbecue, man. I'm telling you. That Texas barbecue. He's an unbelievable player though, bro. I love watching his film and his tape. How powerful he is, man. He come off the ball with quickness and speed and violence. And not just after the passing, bro. He stops the run like no other, bro. So I'll be happy to see wherever he go in this league, man. I can't wait to just see him in person, bro. So
he almost got a pick six last night.
Yeah,
if he would caught a pick six and ran it all the way back at that size, bro.
Get the oxygen tank out.
He would have had the big man of the week right there.
Yeah, no doubt. Built different these days, man. Oh, man, Quinnen, we really do appreciate you joining us here for this Iron Bowl pregame party, sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Best of luck to you in the rest of the season. There's a lot of fun, and just like you, somebody like from Birmingham, there's so many people in this world that are tuning in with this Iron Bowl here. Again, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch it on CBS. You can stream it on Paramount Plus. It means so much to so many people, and we're excited. So, Quinnen, I really do appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you, and roll tide.
Thank you, Quinnen.
Appreciate it,
Quinnen. And you can follow him on Twitter at Bud Elliott CFB. You can follow him at Tom Fernelli. You can follow me at Chip_Patterson. Quinnen, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, man.